Hey Southeast Gasser fans, I'm David Lancaster, the voice of the Southeast Gasser. This recap video is the start of a new style we're putting together for you as we move forward. For those of you joining us, welcome to Nostalgia Drag Racing. Take a step back in time and enjoy the cars from the 1930s to the 1960s, leaving the start line with their wheels in the air and 9,000 RPM launches off the starting line. These guys will be ripping through gears for all of you to hear the high-pitched noises.
Yeah, the Heim joint and the ladder bar broke, so I didn't know that making the pass. So we decided we want to try out both lanes that run, hit the wall. So far, so good. Last night we made a good straight pass, so hopefully we can keep it straight today, run some numbers. That's the plan. Well, the track last night, Shadyside always does a great job, prepping the track, getting it ready for races. Track felt great, but like this SEGA, it's a tough field. You're not just going to go out there and blow everybody's doors off. There's fierce competitors here, and you got to take every round. Like I said, it ain't no slouch racing in SEGA.
All right, fans, SEGA recap coming at you right now. These cars weigh 10 pounds per cubic inch of displacement.
All right, first up is going to be the number 9 qualifier, Diana Castro, in the quick draw. She's going to be in the quick time performance lane. And Troy Bostic is the number 14 qualifier. He'll be in the mortgage options lane. Dixie Beaver in the Voodoo Child, the number 18 qualifier, going to try to take on the number 5 qualifier, Ernie Smith, in the Saturday night special. Smith takes that Brian Harris prepared race car down the racetrack to a win. Number 1 qualifier here today, Todd Oden out of Birmingham, Alabama, in that 58 Del Rey that he calls the Double X. Competition single car, Josh Pruitt. All right, next up, looks like Steve Davis rolling around the corner right there. Steve, number 15 qualifier, going to take on the number 10 qualifier in Robbie Walden. Sharon Davis out in front of her husband's car, bringing him back in that quick time performance lane. Davis takes the win right there. pair out is going to find the number 7 qualifier, Bryson Bubb, taking on Zach Hall. Bryson Bubb putting that horsepower to use right there as he moves to round number 2 in that gold nugget. Alfred Adams, the number 8 qualifier in the Dammit Bob out of Clover, South Carolina, going to take on Gene Russell in the Junkyard Dyno. Alfred Adams taking the win. Eighth pair out right here, the Gaffney, South Carolina racer Billy Wilson in the Troublemaker, that 49 Studebaker truck. Fulton race engine underneath the hood for him. He'll be in the quick time performance lane. Jared Perdue in the Adams County Outlaw. Billy Wilson riding a bucking Bronco down that racetrack, but gathers it in and drives by Purdue. Matt Helms in a rowdy reputation out of McConnell, South Carolina, going to be in the mortgage option side. He's going to be taking on the 2-time and defending world champion Tim Hall in the Scalded Dog Rambler. Matt Helms, that's just too much to overcome, as it is good morning, good evening, and good night as Tim Hall moves on to round number 2. Ninth pair out right here is going to find none other than Dan Hogan in the Flat Out Falcon, the number 11 qualifier. He'll be in the mortgage option side. He's going to take on Ben Helms in the Pucker Time out of Waxhaw, North Carolina, who will be over in the quick time performance lane. Hogan turns on the red light. So Helms is going to move on into Pucker Time too the next round. Brad Wimberly, the number 4 qualifier, is going to be in the mortgage options lane in the Southern Sizzler. He's going to take on BB Brown in the Deputy Dog that sits over in the quick time performance lane on the left side. Moonshotted that car And Brad Wimberly, he kept digging off the line and he took the win. As we get second round of SEGA started right here, we find Billy Wilson out of Gaffney, South Carolina, over there in the quick time performance lane. He's going to be taking on Bryson Buff in the Gold Nugget, that 57 Chevy Nomad. Like Billy Wilson gave the win over to Bryson Buff as he left before the tree was activated. A pair of KG veterans is what I'm going to call this next race. Spartanburg, South Carolina's Ernie Smith in the quick time performance lane, sponsored by Wings Etc. of Boiling Springs. Woodfin Towing, Priority Heating and Air, and Aces High Tattoos. He's over that Saturday night special car, being backed up by his daughter, Hannah. And Alfred Adams out of Clover, South Carolina, in the Dammit Bob, the 1955 Chevy, with G-Book power underneath the hood. Ernie Smith marches on to round number 3 with a win right there. Next SEGA competitor right here, number 1 qualifier Todd Oden out of Birmingham, Alabama, in that big 58 Delray. Going to take on another big car, that Tri-5 Chevy of Ben Helms in the pucker time. Todd Oden continues to march on.
That car being very
4th pair out here in round number 2. Going to find Brad Wimberly. All right, so Diana Casto going to be in the mortgage auction side right here in the quick draw. Ford Falcon out of Ripley, Tennessee, Ripley, West Virginia. Brad Wimberly and the Southern Sizzler in the 62 Comet over in the Atlanta, Georgia area will be in the quick time performance lane. Brad Wimberly streaks away to the win right there.
turn out like that, you know he's going for lane.
Tim Hall, the number 2 qualifier here, gets a bye in round number 2. Right there, as he is going to get Josh Pruitt out of Emmons, South Carolina, the winner of our race at Brainerd Motorsports Park, is going to be in the quick time performance lane on the left side. 63 Ford Fairlane for him. 62 Falcon right there for Steve Davis out of Monroe, North Carolina, the Speedy 3. Josh Pruitt moves on where he'll get Brad Wimberly next round. Double X is going to take it right there out of the left-hand lane.
Stayed in that quick time performance lane over there. He's been very successful over there today. 66 championship.
All right, an intriguing matchup right here. Ernie Smith, Spartanburg, South Carolina, versus the Abbeville, South Carolina racer Tim Hall, the two-time and defended world champion in SEGA. Like Tim Hall took him to school right there as he went in there and turned on the pre-stage, and then Ernie tried to turn on the double bulbs, and then he held him out just a little bit.
We are down to our number 3 and 4 qualifiers, so still in competition. 1 Todd Oates, 2 Tim Hall, 3 John Lewis, 2 points.
And Wimberley takes the win right there on a margin of victory of 6/10,000ths of a second. 6/10,000ths of a second, the margin of victory right there for Wimberley.
So that is a tight race right there.
All right, folks, here is the marquee matchup right here. The two-time and defending world champion, Tim Hall, Abbeville, South Carolina. He's going to be over here in the mortgage auction side. And the number 1 qualifier and a man who's won 12 times in Southeast Gasser history, Todd Oden, in that 58 Delray. Nobody wants to stay. Todd Oden takes the win right there. Folks, that is 2/10,000ths of a second margin of victory. 2/10,000ths of a second. And I'm telling you, they're the 2 baddest dogs in SEGA right now. Todd Oden moves on to the finals, where he'll take on Brad Wimberley, who has a bye this round right here. Let's see if he'll run this car hard to try to get lane choice or not. get lane choice. Todd Oden will still have lane choice, but that is the finalist. Next up, we got our SEGA finals coming up. Brad Wimberly in the Southern Sizzler going to be taking on the number 1 qualifier here today, Todd Oden out of Birmingham, Alabama, in that big double X. Puts it in victory circle. After a long drought here in SEGA, Todd Oden has punched his ticket here today at Shadyside in 2024. Todd Oden putting this big double X back in victory lane. What does it mean to you here after the struggle you've had?
It means the world to me because Shadyside is tough. It's been tough on this old big girl through the years. I've figured out every way you could lose here. So to get back in victory lane, it's a big accomplishment.
Well, the car ran flawlessly all today. You've talked about that many times, and your crew members have worked extremely hard to get you to this point. And the One-Way Technologies motor has just really been flawless for you.
Holy smokes. We've got the horsepower. It's just now trying to figure out how to harness that power. It's been a challenge for us, but thank the Lord, Joey, John, everybody on our crew worked so hard to get this car to hook up. And I think if people look at the car and how it leaves now, they'll know the amount of work that these guys are putting in, and it's a big deal.
It's not your conventional Chevy, too, that you see a lot of cars, like the smaller cars. There's a lot of adjustments and a lot of adjustability to get something this big to move that fast.
That's right, and it's like running with a piece of plywood. I mean, it's tough to get this car through the wind. You think if it was more aerodynamic, maybe we'd pick up another 10th.
That would be scary if it would, now wouldn't it?
That would be. It might be a big accomplishment.
Well, you would say you're already the ET holder in this big girl, right, the double X, and so that would be something to accomplish. Now, Jeff Jones and his crew out there in Washington, Indiana, I know that you've committed to them full time now.
I have. What a great family and what a great bunch of people. Daniel, Tyler, Chris, Jeff, Robin. I mean, that whole family, I feel like I'm part of the family when I go up there. I mean, I just go up and stay there and hang out with them. And, that's what this kind of racing is all about. It's what Southeast Gassers is family. And I feel like I'm part of their family.
Well, you bring a big family with you. We all feel like we're family out here. But congratulations, man, taking the big cup back to Leeds, Alabama tonight.
Thank you, David. Thank you.
Your winner in SEGA, Mr. Todd Oden.